So you've launched your recognition program, you've given out your budgets, you've done everything you needed to, but your managers aren't adopting it. In this video, we'll dive into why that might be happening and 3 key steps you can take to help drive manager participation. Hi, I'm Joe, one of the co-founders of Guusto. And on this channel, we help people leaders like you build amazing cultures by recognizing and engaging your people. Manager adoption is crucial to the success of your rewards and recognition program. Healthy manager participation helps drive participation across the board. It makes the program impactful and gives your managers a tool to improve engagement, drive development, productivity, and a whole lot more. The problem is that a lot of managers simply don't understand why recognition is so important, or they do understand but haven't taken the time to develop this skill. They might feel they show enough appreciation to employees through feedback or a paycheck. You might even get the dreaded, "What do we need to do this for? We already pay them" comment. When they don't fully buy into your program, managers come to see it as another thing HR is making us do. Even if they get it, they might still have difficulty finding the time to recognize people and making it a habit. To be honest, I had this problem myself when we first started using our product here at Guusto for employee recognition. I'm not from an HR background, and our software was originally developed as an app to send food and drink to friends. I personally understood why it was so important to recognize people consistently. With that in mind, I still had some difficulty getting into the habit of doing it and making some time in my schedule. But like any skill, it can be developed. So here's a few tips that I found have helped me, as well as some of our clients, help drive managers to participate. The first thing you need to do is make sure managers understand the value of recognition. Emphasize that this is one of the few tools they have to motivate and incentivize performance that's fully under their control. A recognition program gives them a lot of autonomy to incentivize the behaviors that they want to see. And it's one of the only rewards they can give to their people that's timely, relevant, and tied to action. You don't get that from an annual bonus or a company picnic or even a raise. It can even help with trust and feedback. Recognition, or a lack thereof, is feedback, and it opens the door to further feedback, sparking conversations about what they can do better. And if all of that doesn't convince them, there's a lot of statistics that tie recognition to the macro outcomes they actually care about, like productivity, retention, and learning and development. For instance, did you know that companies with recognition-rich cultures have an average of 31% lower turnover rates? Given how hard it's been for some companies to keep talent, especially recently, that should be music to your manager's ears. Second, you might need to teach them when and how to use recognition. Different managers will always approach recognition differently in terms of what they recognize, when they do it, and what sort of rewards they give people. And that's fine. But there might be people who are looking for more guidance. If they're rewarding employees for going above and beyond, what does that look like? For example, some managers recognize people for putting in extra hours at work, which isn't ideal if you're trying to encourage employees to have a good work-life balance. It sends the wrong message and promotes bad habits. What above and beyond means might look different for different employees too. What you recognize a seasoned star employee for will be different than what you might recognize a new employee or one who's been struggling. How people achieve results can also matter. If someone delivers a really successful project, but is a jerk to half the office while they do it, should that be rewarded? What you reward and how prescriptive you are will all depend on the culture that you're in, who your leaders are, your budget, and a lot of other circumstances. But at the end of the day, managers are people too. They need to feel comfortable taking control and making this program their own. Some sort of direction on what is appropriate can help with that. Hey, hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, feel free to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss our next one. Lastly, you need to help managers make recognition a habit. A lot of leaders and managers know they need to recognize their people more, but they just can't find a way to work it into their routines. They get caught up in other projects and more pressing demands. And before you know it, they've forgotten. Fortunately, there are a lot of different things that I've seen people do to help build the muscle of recognition. It can be as easy as putting 2 sticky notes on your desk every week, and then removing one every time recognition is given. If the sticky notes are gone on Friday afternoon, job well done. Or you could block time on their calendar every week to do it. 15 minutes should be plenty. Some managers will even make it part of their retro for big projects. When they accomplish something big, they take a moment to look back and decide if anyone on the project deserves special recognition. Lastly, you should consider asking managers at your regular management meeting who they've recognized since the last time you met and why. This can create a forcing function, as managers don't want to be seen as the only one who hasn't recognized their people. This concept can be taken one step further. Managers can ask their team for help. They can encourage their people to come to the weekly department meeting with suggestions for whom they believe deserves a special reward. Managers don't have line of sight into everything, so they might miss moments that are worth celebrating. It's also a great way to start building a culture of recognition amongst individual contributors. Win-win. Now, sometimes you'll do all this and participation won't improve with some managers. They might tell you that they prefer a more personal approach, such as buying their teammates lunch or taking them out for coffee. Here's the thing. It's true that there are exceptions where an employee needs to be recognized outside of your program, but those really should be exceptions. Your program should be able to handle at least 80, even 90% of your recognition. And if it can only handle 50%, you have the wrong program. And usually, if you have someone who, let's say, likes to bring donuts to the office, and you introduce a recognition program, they'll keep bringing donuts to the office, but they'll use the program too. So if they're not using the program, and you're receiving feedback that they prefer recognizing people in other ways, there might be something else at play that you need to address. Maybe they're having trouble getting into the habit of using the system. Maybe they're not technical and finding it difficult to use. As an aside, any recognition program needs to be inclusive, regardless of people's comfort with technology. Or, honestly, they might not believe in recognition as much as they say they do, in which case, you might need to have a difficult conversation about it. Whatever their reasoning, it's important to remind them that at the end of the day, recognition is about the person being recognized, not about them. For instance, for some people, lunch with the manager isn't actually recognition. It's a chore, or it's intimidating. And so they need to learn to recognize people in a way that those people will appreciate and that they'll respond to. Hey everyone, I'd love to hear what helped your managers or even you yourself to get into the habit of sending recognition regularly. Answer in the comments? So to recap, the most crucial steps you can take to get your managers to start using recognition are: help them understand its value. Teach them when and how to recognize people. Help them make recognition a habit. If you want to create a recognition program your team actually uses, download our Ultimate Employee Recognition Playbook, which takes you through 6 simple steps to build and launch a successful program. Hey everyone, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, as it really helps us get that video out to more people. And if you want more great culture building content, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon so you don't miss an upload. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to recognize someone today for a job well done. Mucho gusto.